has someone shooting up the place, you know, and I'm just like, what the hell? How is this happening in where we live? I mean, we're one of the most diverse areas in the country, and I mean, I guess mental health, you know, affects all kinds of people. Definitely, you know, it's something to. I guess it's just something we need to pay more attention to, but it's just weird to me, like reading reports like they're asking him his ex girlfriend from like 12 years ago. I'm like, 12 years ago? Like, why are you? Where are the people that are around him like now, right here,
Yeah.
right now? I mean, yeah, she basically boistered up what everyone's thinking, like he was crazy or whatnot. But I'm like, okay, well, who was with him within the last week or 2 weeks? Who's seen this man recently? Was he all by himself? Did he have no one else to reach out to? Or was he talking to people about what he was going to do? Was he on 4chan or 8chan? Was he, you know, on this like some weird hate group where he's like expressing what he's planning on doing or something? Was there any of this talk? I don't see any of it. So
Carlos, you want to weigh in, or are you good now?
Yeah, we're good now. I mean, Jesus, it took a while. Sorry for everybody that's like watching the podcast. You've seen like the podcast review like at least 3 times, but now we're stable, which I expected to stay up for like the rest of the podcast. So I'm very sorry. Thank you for sticking with the podcast. Anyway, yeah, the this morning was really unfortunate. Seeing like somebody just go in and just it's another mass shooting. One in California, which is odd, especially here in the Bay Area. But, you know, it's another thing where when you have people that are desperate. Actually, no, I'm not even fucking saying all that shit. The guy that did the shooting is a piece of shit. He murdered a bunch of people, injured a bunch more. And it's crazy because where it actually occurred was literally 2 blocks away from the sheriff's department. So if it would have been somewhere else, the response likely would have been slower and it wouldn't have been ended so quickly. But, I mean, the guy did a horrific amounts of damage, even with the short response time. And yeah, I'm just, you know, I'm waiting. I'm mentally preparing to be let down by America once again by people giving this dude, you know, all kinds of excuses, saying that, you know, oh, you know, he had a bad day. Oh, you know, it's blah, blah, blah. Oh, blah, blah, blah. Fuck all that shit. The guy was a piece of shit. I don't want to hear, I don't care about his background. I don't care about any of that shit. I don't care about, oh, you know, he was such a great guy before this. Fuck that. He's a murderous asshole. Like, it's such a weird thing when you see somebody that's, you know, black or brown get killed by like the police that are unarmed and for like a minor crime, a non-violent crime, they get murdered by the police and they dig up, oh, they got into a fight in the 7th grade. He's a criminal. They deserve to die. It's like, really? Meanwhile, you have a guy shoots up a bunch of people and they have to dig up the good things about him. If you're black and you die in America, you have to be above reproach in your death. But if you're white here, no. I mean, they have to find the good qualities about you. And that's every single time I go through these, I see these goddamn stories of these mass shooters. I have to just get prepared to get let down again, you know, by other fellow Americans. I just don't want to recognize that a good portion of this population has a fucking problem, and we're just not going to talk about it, you know. And it's straight up racism. So, and this is like a day or so after, you know, a year anniversary after George Floyd's death, and look at all the shit that they dug up on him. Oh, well, he was in domestic violence before. Oh, well, he had fentanyl in the system. Oh, well, he had, you know, expired registration. Oh, well, you know, he had fucking possibly a counterfeit $20 bill. You know, are any of those things worth immediate execution? No. In the meantime, with this fucking piece of shit who murdered people, we know they still even say the suspect. Like, are we fucking for real? Like, he's not a fucking suspect. He's the fucking guy who did it. So it's just, it's living in this country sometimes is very difficult, you know. And I hope it changes in the future. And I know they're gonna talk about, you know, gun rights and blah 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 blah. It's not gonna matter. Listen, we're in California. We have one of the strictest gun laws in America. So the problem, when people want to talk about, you know, gun safety and, you know, yeah, I'm all for, you know, registering your guns, taking tests to have your guns. But none of that shit takes away crazy people. You know what I mean? We're not addressing the crazy people. And yes, like if you didn't have access to guns, not a lot of people would have been killed on this day. You know, maybe he had a knife, maybe he would have killed a person or two. But it's still the person that did it, he's fucking crazy. And we're not addressing the serious mental health issues out there. So yeah, can we not address like fucking both? I mean, seriously, like if we need to have tighter gun registrations, fine. I'm fucking fine. But let's also address the mental health issues. We have people that are desperate in America that we're just. When I talk about these things, the people on the left are just like, oh, well, it's a gun problem. It's the gun problem. It cannot be just a gun problem. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, seriously, it's not just a gun problem. Yes, guns are a problem. But we also have the people that are actually doing the shooting. They are the problem, too. So let's figure out what the fuck is wrong with them and try to fix what is wrong with America. But, nothing's going to happen again.
Yeah.
Sandy Hook taught me something really crystal clear. There's zero, and I mean absolutely zero political will to change anything. And the other thing I will say is, even on the quote unquote mental health side, there are people with several mental health issues that don't do this bullshit. And so,
I'm one of them. I'm mental health issues.
Yeah.
I don't want to shoot anybody.
Yeah. So I don't like to paint with this really egregious broad brush of saying, oh, if you have any mental health issues or, don't see therapy, don't talk to anybody, don't work on yourself at all because you're so crazy that you're going to do this. No, that's complete bullshit.
Yeah.
So try to get help for whatever mental health issue you have. But I don't actually even give a shit about this murderer and talking about his specific mental health issues per se. This is a and I'm not using mental health, I'm using crazy fucker who's a violent fucking murderer. Like, that's my focus with this person. But we've seen this multiple. We've been on there 5-6 years now. We've seen this multiple fucking times. This hits home. It feels as close as like that Gilroy Garland Festival shooting in terms of like a Bay Area fucking tragedy, and a mass shooting right here in the Bay Area. But it happens all over the fucking country. And there's over 330 million Americans. Yes, there's going to be plenty of wackos, but don't try to say, oh, just because you got mental health, you'll do this shit. And I just hate how we make that false equivalence sometimes in the narrative on this.
Yeah, no, sorry. I'm glad you clarified that because that's not what I meant. So I'm glad you said that. There's like a thing here in America where like we're going through like a very difficult time in America, and so the fact that mass shootings are going up right now, it's not surprising to me. It's only because like we've been living in a fucked up state, and then we have like this pandemic come through that people just lost their minds over because they didn't want to follow simple goddamn instructions. And I think that the fact that this guy went into like what was it? It was a union meeting and just shot a bunch of people. Those are people that he knew, that he definitely knew, that decided that they didn't deserve to live anymore. What's interesting to me is that the company that I work for, which is a very large, IT organization, they started doing a lot of steps in a really good direction. So they did like this whole inclusionary training, which usually I'm just like, fuck all that shit. But there's honestly, it's pretty good. It's pretty good training. And they also, because they know that the pandemic has lasted for so long, and that it's coming to an end soon, they implemented having these things called wellness days. Usually we get them like once a month where you can take like half a day off and just do whatever the fuck you want. In the next 3 months, they said that every single employee at HPE, you can take 6 days of wellness days in the next 3 months, scot-free, just to like get away from the office or get away from your home office, get away from work, decompress. They understand that we've been going through some really hard times, and I think that's the right direction to go into, because I think that in America we have this weird culture to where we work too hard. Like we've eclipsed Japan at this point in time. I'm just like, are you serious? I'm like, how much we're working and how much stress we're under, and a lot of people they're not happy, and nobody is like addressing that. They're just tightening the screws on these things, and especially when you see like people that are working during this pandemic that are quote unquote essential workers. Meanwhile, these billionaires are pulling down trillions of dollars in profits. Or the companies are pulling down trillions of dollars in profits, and people are just like literally working themselves to death. And this is like we can't keep going like this. Like we need to like figure out a better way to live in America. And I don't think there's any interest on most politicians to even talk about that issue. Sorry, go ahead, Ninja.
I was just going to point out a quick fact. So the Gilroy incident was in 2019, and this is the second incident since then where more than 4 people have been killed through gun violence in the Bay.
Yeah.
So it's just very, very disconcerting that we're seeing a rise in this kind of. There's been 2 incidents in the past 3 years or 4 years, and I'm hoping we don't see any more. But you never know, man. And unfortunately, this could inspire someone else to be like, "Oh, if this guy did it, I'm gonna do it too."
I hope not.
Yeah,
I hope not either. But I mean,
what's really sad.
Go ahead, Luke.
I was gonna say it's really sad. I posted it in the chat, but it's always it's always the same thing. If an incident happened, we all talk about it. We're talking about change and we need to stop this. Then all of a sudden everybody goes silent, and then it just happens all over again. It's just constantly wash the repeat, basically. And it's something that I wish we could find out a way to change this, because sadly, I would say one of the good things that came out of the pandemic was that schools were shut down, so we had low cases of school shootings. But then once they kind of opened back up, they just start all over again. It's so fucking crazy.
I don't mean to be cynical, and I know this is a really tragic issue, especially for all of those families. But if we're being very honest, most people don't give a shit. They claim to give a shit, but most people don't really give a shit. And we have an empathy issue where, in general, we only give a shit to what happens to us or our direct loved ones, and that's a real fucking issue.
Well,
if you cared, you'd want something to happen.
Yeah, it's honestly, it's hyper individualism is a problem in America, where all we care about, like Prodigy just said, is we just care about ourselves, and we don't care about others. It's just it's easy for us to just not give a shit about anybody else. And it's just, this pandemic has really highlighted that. See how many people when they're just told to just put on a thing over your face to protect others, and look how many people just freak the fuck out. Seriously.
Yep.
Now they're saying, "Oh, I can't breathe. Oh, well, I got medical issues. Oh, well, I got blah 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 blah. Oh, well, it's gonna recirculate. It's you come up with all these excuses when you're the pitiful excuse of a person that cannot possibly inconvenience, the minor inconvenience of just, putting something over your face to protect others. Just that small thing you're not willing to do. That shows me how hyper individualistic this society is, and how backwards we are in this society. People want to talk about how, we're the freest nation on earth, blah, blah. No, the fuck we're not. If we're the freest nation on earth, how in the world do we have the highest prison population? We house 20% of the world's prison population. And we're not even,
We're 4% of the world.
Yeah, 4% of the world. It's incredible that people just want to talk about, oh, we're so free. You're infringing upon my freedom. Meanwhile, a large portion of our population have no freedom at all. They're literally slaves. And you just,
I tell you what, and I know, man, I love this topic, but, the other thing that I always look at, just to piggyback on what you said, Kronos, about the whole prison stuff, but in the tri-state area and Chicago and Detroit and whatnot, they just had no problem looking at the color of your fucking skin, seeing that you were a teenager or a young man, and saying, up against the fucking wall, let me put my fucking hand basically up your booty and search you, known as stop and frisk. This was endorsed by all politicians throughout every major fucking big city in our lifetime within the last fucking, through the 90s all the way through the last decade, the early aughts and the earlier this decade, where it's just hundreds of thousands of black and brown boys and young men, fuck your freedom, you look guilty, Negro or brown Latino, and I'm going to stop and search you because I can, and it's the official policy. And nobody gave a shit for the most part. Not a whole lot of lawsuits, not a whole lot of fucking public outcry and whatnot. Most people, most normal, especially white Americans, voted for it and were perfectly fine with it. And I'm not going back to the civil rights era. I'm not going back to Jim Crow. I'm not going back to slavery.
Like 5 years
I'm talking
ago.
about Yeah, 5 years ago. So, and here's the other thing, just to bring it back close to home. Had any of the 5 of us literally grown up in any of those communities, we would have had the exact same thing happen to us on a repeated basis. It's literally just luck of geography that prevented us from living that and having that as our daily life.
Yeah, but we're free.
I don't even know what you're talking about. Jump out.
Freedom.
Sorry.
People don't really understand what actual freedom really is. They really don't. They just want to talk about the Constitution. It's like, well, first of all, you don't even know what's in the Constitution. You recognize that it's been amended over 25 times, right?
Yeah.
So if the Constitution, if all you want to live through is the Constitution, and talking about how it's this great document, yeah, it was great back then, but even the government has amended it, meaning that they changed what they've added to it to make things better, and we haven't changed it in a long time. Way too long. I think since the internet's been, has become mainstream, there's been like maybe one, I don't think any amendments, maybe one. I'd have to look. There might be one amendment, and that's it. And it doesn't account for it doesn't account for, trans rights. It doesn't account for, homelessness. It doesn't account for the internet. It doesn't account for all these other things that are relatively quote unquote new issues that we have no solutions for because nobody's really giving a fuck about these issues because it doesn't affect them. And it's just like, it's the same. It goes back to like empathy. Like it's there. Most of Americans are apathetic. Most, at best, apathetic. And nobody wants to talk about it because they get uncomfortable. And anytime you bring it up, they freak the fuck out like they're children. Like look at what was that chick's name? Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Oh my god! I was hoping we get to this broad.
This chick equated wearing masks to the Holocaust and wearing a yellow star on your clothing. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? And shipping people away to get gassed. What are you talking about? Is it really? If it's that bad for you, you never lived a hard day in your entire goddamn life. In your entire life, I lived a harder day when I was in my toddler years than you've lived in your entire life. Seriously.
Isn't she the representative, the one that was saying that there was Jewish lasers?
Yes, Jewish space lasers.
That's her? Yeah, that's the same chick. And then she's been saying, I know that she's been saying some crazy stuff on the Congress floor. She's been fined a few times, but she kind of revels in it because, like, both her party and the Speaker of the House are like, you're out of line and, you need to rein it back. But she's been reveling off of this because she's an avid Trump supporter and she's been trying to kind of following his footsteps a little bit. And she's been campaigning in the South, and she's drawing a lot of people to her campaign rallies, which is very concerning to me.
I mean, you guys make excellent points, but here's the thing: if you're just this racist and fucking stupid, then you really don't belong in Congress. You don't belong in a polite society. It's all fucked up. And how fucking insulting for the Jewish American community, where you have a representative of Congress that just knows so little about history or the Holocaust that they make that false bullshit ass equivalency. It's just disgusting.
Yeah. So for somebody to say that wearing a mask is like being a Holocaust, I would say the most difficult thing about wearing a mask is remembering to put on a mask. Like, holy shit. It's so funny. I walked into the bank the other day and I totally forgot my fucking mask. And like, I didn't do it on purpose. Like, I walked in and I like saw somebody with a mask and I'm like, oh shit, I don't have my mask on. Like, it's nowhere compared to that.
Cronus, you're talking about amendments and when the last amendment was passed, or because there's a list that keeps track of what the amendments were when they were passed and when they were ratified. So there's a few on here. The last ratified amendment was 1992, but the last passed, or the most current, I should say, the most current passed amendment was in 1971, as far as I can see.
Both of those are before the internet.
What's up?
Both of those are before the public internet.
Oh yeah. So I'm looking to see if there's something more recent, but so far not. There's actually a lot of these are posting the sections. Some of these have long sections.
You know, so I was going through. So on Balance Exchange, we're recording our second season, and we already got first one done. It's about the post office. It's an awesome podcast. I can't wait for it to drop because there was a whole bunch of shit about the post office I didn't know. We had a great guest on. And the second one, it was from Dirty Stu. Actually, asked us a question of who do we think are the best and worst presidents, and then like what policies did they enact that made them the best or worst. And so, you know, I picked Lyndon B. Johnson as my favorite president because he's a person who passed the Civil Rights Act. And but as I was doing my research, because I had to do research for this podcast, there were so many other bills that he passed, like a shitload of bills, like by modern standards. And I was just like, why aren't we getting... And they were mostly geared towards poor people and people of color. And today, like, we have very little, you know, movement on any real substantive bill or any real amendments for anything. Like, we have, like, these little things that don't really matter. But he was making sweeping changes back in the day. And we're not getting that anymore. Like, we're lucky if we get, like, an incremental half step in the right direction. And the next president... that, you know, doesn't like the policy, he can just, because it's not an actual amendment, he can just, you know, use his veto power, not his veto power. God damn it, what's the name of that thing? He can basically go back through and just
executive order.
Executive order, yeah, he can use an executive order to basically nullify what the last president did. And it's just like, and it's a problem with the filibuster too. It's a whole long thing, but it's just incredible how ineffective our government is in passing long-lasting, meaningful changes to its own citizens.
It's also weird how like some policies or rules or whatever can expire. It's like, you know, they can have a bill that, or not a bill. I think I'm not very technical with the political stuff, but there's like laws that can pass that only last like, I don't know, 2 years, and then they have to go back and revisit it again, see if they don't want to extend it or if they want to, you know, create a new one or something like that. It's so fucking weird how that works.
Sorry, if y'all heard that sound on the podcast, thank you, Candle Guru, who's a BG Oil and Candles. They donated money to us, so thank you very much.
Perfect.
So we'll talk about you.
I would do the booty scooty for you, but I was paid not to do that anymore.
Yeah, I'll be doing that. Yeah, I'm actually. What was I talking about? Yeah, it's just we're in a very weird kind of state, like, as we enter the post-pandemic era, but there's still so much, like, craziness out there. I mean, with the vaccine out there, you have you have anti-vaxxers, anti-maskers, you have maskers, but pro-vaxxers, and like the various combinations in between. So it's super strange out there what's going on, and there's no regulation on how to deal with people that are vaccinated versus people who are not. What I think is that the government has left it up to private or public places and places that are open to the public to like regulate themselves, or like, I mean, basically a business can be like, hey, if you don't show us a vaccination card, we can't let you in. I don't know if that's a legal precedent and whatnot. As far as I know, there's no laws that say that they can't do that. So maybe that's going to go into effect. Maybe some places will just split people and be like, hey, if you're vaccinated, you go to the left. If you're not, you go to the right. I don't know. But we'll see what happens in the next few months.
Go ahead,
because things might get crazy.
I'm going to do a real super quick plug. I wanted to make sure I got the actual right name right. If piggybacking on what Prono said, if you have any love or concern or want to just know a little bit better about the history of why there's ineffectual law passing, especially in the Senate, check out this one. I picked it up. I've only read the intro and I'm still working my way through it, but it's by Adam Jentleson, and it's called Killswitch: The Rise of the Modern Senate and the Crippling of American Democracy. Real good nonfiction. I'll certainly be done with it probably within the next few weeks, but just a super quick plug.
Yeah,
right?
you know, the whole thing with you know, as we come out of this pandemic, and they're saying, you know, vaccinated people have like these uh, new freedoms that we're supposed to get, right? Because we're all vaccinated now. And the problem with me is that there's no enforcement. There's literally zero enforcement built into anything. 'Cause the federal government has done such a terrible job with this. Like they've left it up to individual states, and the states leave it up to individual counties, and it's a total shit show. So I'm gonna keep wearing the mask for a while because I can't trust the Karens out there, the people that don't want to get vaccinated, and they're like, "Oh, I'm vaccinated. You can't ask me if I'm vaccinated or not." And it's just like, okay, I mean, like, what do you expect us to do? Like, seriously, the federal government should have been way heavier-handed when it came to this shit. And yeah, I don't give a fuck if it does trample on your freedoms. You know what tramples on freedoms? Death, bitch, death. 600,000 people dead in America because people didn't take this seriously enough. Because we had a president that wanted to talk about, oh, just inject some bleach. Or, you know, use some sunshine and you know, put it in your veins. Or it's going to go away by, you know, what was it? Easter of last year. Or it's going to just go away in the summertime. None of that stuff happened.
Oh, and herd immunity, that too.
We can't get to herd immunity because these idiots won't get vaccinated. They won't. So I'm listening to a book. It's called 1491. It's an awesome book. Everybody should read it. I don't know if Prodigy recommended it to me or not, but I'm listening to it right now. And what it's showing to me in this book is that we've just been lucky for the past 100 years. We've been super lucky in the past 100 years that a pandemic has not occurred. So 1491 is a book about what America was like before Columbus came. Okay, because he came in 1492, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Sailed the oceans blue.
Yeah. He did the 50 Tyson on us. God.
Probably Tyson. Oh shit, that should tell us familiar.
Yeah. So
oh man,
it shows what life was like for natives here in all of the Americas before Columbus came, during his time, and then after his time. And what is really telling is the amount of death that happened because of a pandemic. The smallpox decimated the Americas, and other diseases decimated the Americas. When I say like a pandemic, for them, some of the pandemics lasted for 5 to 10 years. So 5 to 10 years of constant death from a single disease because they didn't know how to deal with it. And the problem is that the Europeans, they were used to living close together, right? And so because they were so close together, they would trade all these diseases, and obviously a lot of them would die. But after a while, they would become immune to it. And they also figured out vaccinations. Even back then, they figured out how to vaccinate kids because they would introduce smallpox to them when they were kids, so they'll become immune. But the problem is, in the Americas, the natives here, they didn't live like Europeans. First of all, they were a whole lot cleaner. So that's just factual. And they didn't live in these large groups. So they would live in like these tribes that didn't have a whole lot of people in them. So, and they're also genetically, they weren't designed to like really deal with these sorts of viruses. They were designed to deal with parasites. So they were less susceptible to parasites, but they were more susceptible to viruses. And so that just, and so back then, like if you had a town get sick, nobody could tell anybody, right? So a whole town would literally just go away within a matter of like 6 months to a year, and they would just roll up to these. They would just hit the shores, and they would just see a bunch of dead bodies. They'd be like, "What happened here?" And they go to like in the village, and the village is all like decimated, and they're like, "Well, what happened?" It was all disease. It was crazy, and so it comes to now. We've had over 3.5 million people in the world die from this, and even back then, they had things that were way worse. That were like 8%. You know, for some people, for some groups, it was 30% plus death rate. And they were just like, "Oh, that's just the way we're gonna live. Like that's whatever." And we're getting it right now. Over 3 million people have died, and people are just like, "Oh, whatever. I'm not gonna do anything to possibly help them or get vaccinated or whatever. If it doesn't kill me, then it doesn't kill me." It's what the fuck? Like seriously.
One of the greatest things I heard recently about COVID is that if what was it? You only die from it if you're afraid of it.
Jesus Christ. Jesus.
That's like the devil, right?
Yeah, that sounds like something like Duke Nukem would say or some shit. Or fucking somebody from like GTA would say some shit like that.
Yeah, that does sound very video game-ish.
Yeah.
At first, I thought the dumbest thing I've ever heard somebody say was that you can get sick from a computer virus, and I was like,
Jesus
what?
Christ.
Oh yeah, don't you know five? We talked about this on the podcast, but when people were saying that 5G caused COVID, I was like, "Are you fucking
Oh yeah,
serious?"
I remember that shit.
It just shows that it just shows that people aren't paying attention because 5G was around before COVID, but all of a sudden COVID just happened. No, they just installed this. This was what happened in Korea, and they installed 5G, and I'm like, what? No, that's not what happened. You guys are making up stuff, and it's all from YouTube. It's those YouTube videos were telling people that I watched one of these videos, and I was like, "Are you serious? There's no proof to this. All this is a bunch of images and some dude with he like auto-tuned his voice so you couldn't tell who he was, telling some bunch of bullshit."
Yeah, but also there's just susceptible people to bullshit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you have to be, sorry, I'm going to put it bluntly, you have to be just dumb enough to believe bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, you got to be a real stupid ass person to just be like, hey, you know, the world is flat and 5G gave me the Rona. Like,
yeah,
it's just a dumbass already predisposed to believing any dumb shit. And in fact, why don't you give me your money? Just, you know,
donate.
Donate all your money to me. Empty your account.
I was listening to this one radio show, and they were talking about how, you know, how like people are saying that the vaccine, they're implanting chips and stuff in you so they can track you and blah, blah, and
oh my God. I know people that believe that shit.
What power source are they using for these little fucking devices that transmitting this information that's tracking you? Like, the battery of that's got to be insane for it to last, like, a fucking lifetime. Like, come on, dude. Like, it has to be like quantum, like that's gotta be like in how in Ant-Man, how like they throw quantum in front of everything for you to sound scientifically correct. So there's gotta be some quantum power supply powering this goddamn device that's gonna tracking you this whole fucking time. Number one tracking device is the thing that's in your pocket, and it's called a cell phone.
The what's it called? The blue cat people told us, you know, it's unobtainium, right?
Unobtainium. Isn't that from a show? Isn't that from
Avatar?
Oh yeah. That's why I'm like, dude, I've heard that. I was gonna speak. We'll probably speak on it later, but yeah, I mean, unobtainium. This is cheddar. This is the cheddar we're trying to get. Unobtainium. Like, nobody says that anymore.
All right, can we
go
ahead.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. No, I was just gonna say that was like one of the cheesiest like plot line for a movie. Unobtainium. Like the writers were like, let's come up with a name for this thing. I don't know what to call it. Let's just call it Unobtainium and call it a day.
I thought it was hilarious.
Go ahead, Kronos. You were trying to switch gears.
I'm gonna bring it up just for a second to help out the ladies and even the guys. If you have a dad that's still alive, Father's Day's coming up. All right. And we have linked together with Ibeji Oil and Candles, and they have a thing where they're extending our original 50% off because it was supposed to end in the next couple days, but they're extending it out by a month, I think, at least a month. So here is the cool little graphic that they made for us.
Oh, you got real graphics. I'm just holding up candles.
Real graphics. I'm watching right now, and this is the actual I think it's the same promo code. It's valid until June 30th, 2021 at midnight. The code is V as in Victor, D as in Delta, 638, N as in November. Once again, that is V as in Victor, D as in Delta, 638, N as in November. And it'll save you 15% off on your order. And they have a really cool Father's Day candle. It's dope. I don't know if I have a picture of it, but it looks really dope. I want to buy it, but I can't because it's Father's Day. Because I'm not gonna buy shit for myself, right? So hopefully K-Mac, wink, wink, will give me one. I'm just saying. I'm pretty sure she will, because I thought it looked. The candle looks amazing. The new Father's Day candle. Plus, you can also get our actual candle. So we have a candle through Ibeji Oil and Candles, and it is right here. it is the dankest candle on the planet.
So
And it's
I
coming
got-
out.
Real quick, that graphic that you posted up was fucking dope. I like it. That was really cool.
Yeah, honestly,
Shout out to them.
my sister and my sister-in-law. Yes, that's how it goes. They are killing it. Like they have been totally on the ball with all, like we give a suggestion, we just talk about stuff on the podcast. They listen, and they make it happen. And it's just like things that I didn't even think. I didn't think about making a custom BTI candle. Like that's all them. They listen. They were just like, you know what? They like the smell of this certain scent that, and they're like, you know, we'll make their own candle. And they made it. And they're selling it now. So if people have bought it,
great.
yeah, it smells great. People have bought it. Anybody that gets it, you're gonna enjoy the scent. Like unless there's, I don't know, maybe you have a different nose than me and most people. I'm just saying. I think it smells dope.
Here's the fucking thing. I heard y'all last week, and I finally got mine. Goddammit. This shit. Now I'm gonna describe it the way I fucking feel like it. It does smell like a fucking great ass barbershop. Like remember in fucking Luke Cage where they had Pops' barbershop or whatever. It smells like what I envision Pops' barbershop in real life smells like, with like a cookout in the back. It's like super take you back to like 9-10 years old, black ass barbershop good. That's the vibe I get from it. And try it for yourself. But I guarantee you're gonna like it. I love that shit. I light it all the time.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So I didn't say the name of the website. Sorry. So it's Ibeji Oil and Candles.com. It's IBEJI oilandcandles.com. That's where you can find them at. So enjoy. I'm gonna see if I can convince them to do a balance exchange. One, me and Papa Bear got to talk about. I think we're gonna pick like one or two of our best scents, our favorite scents, and then see if they can blend them together and make them balanced.
Wow, they have a lot of sense though.
They do.
I went to their. I'm actually probably gonna go see them this weekend because they're always at every Sunday. If you live in the Bay, every Sunday they're at Liberty Park, Sunday morning through the afternoon. Because the park is they close kind of early on Sunday, I think. But it's a little park area, and they set up with a bunch of other local businesses, and you can go out there, meet the ladies, and then buy either oils or candles from them. And I think they have, there's the other one, soaps too. So they sell that there. So I might make the trip out there on Sunday and try to buy some more stuff because I'm actually, I'm down to my last candle. So
wow, you need to burn it.
Yeah,
I'm burning.
I gotta drop yours off because this one lasts a long ass time. They use like
I
don't know wax they used, but it's like the slowest burning candle ever.
Well, the
one
that
lasts a long time, so let me make.
Oh god dang! So the last one I bought on Easter Sunday, and just now it's like pretty much dead, and we've been burning it pretty frequently. So
wait, hold on. She said she won't be somewhere. I think they won't.
She won't be there on no Liberty Park.
Well, yeah, I guess not. Okay, but they usually are. So
yeah, usually they're there.
Sorry, it's the first and third Sunday. She specified the first and third Sunday they'll be there.
Okay, there you go.
So one quick thing about their product too is that they actually just released this recently. They have like body oil and soap for people with eczema. So it's for sensitive skin. So if you got allergies or you're allergic to certain kind of soap, you definitely try out their body sensitive soap and see if that might help you out.
Good shit. All right, I'm gonna switch it up a little bit. Old Ninja. You have been faithfully waiting, despite Stitch always hating, on a certain trilogy to finally be live and come back into prominence. I'm talking about Mass Effect. I know you're playing it. Can you give us some insight? Does it hold up? Are you enjoying it? Are you shitting on it? Are you just fapping in the corner and Christ-debating? What are you doing?
Probably all of the above. I mean, I talked about it briefly last week, actually. I literally just finished Mass Effect 1, the Legendary Edition. I just started Part 2, and so I guess I should talk about the differences in Mass Effect 1 versus the original. The controls are enhanced, but not revamped. I guess to explain it a bit more, so in the original Mass Effect, if you picked a certain class, your class was proficient in certain weapons because your character had access to all the weapons all at once. But if you used all the weapons, certain weapons you wouldn't be able to zoom in with, and you wouldn't get the damage bonuses in. Well, in this one, you'll be able to use the weapons normally, but if your character does not have the weapon proficiency of those weapons, you're not going to get damage bonuses, and you won't be able to use their ability, pretty much. So, for instance, if you pick like a biotic class, usually they're kind of limited to like pistols and shotguns. So if you use the pistols and shotgun, the shotgun has like an ability called Carnage, which is basically an overshot. It's like a charged up shot. And then with there's like a mini marksman ability with the pistol where you can basically shoot really fast and your gun won't overheat until your ability ends. So that works out with that. And then if you're using, like in the original, right? I was playing on the original 360. If I used the sniper, I couldn't zoom in if I didn't have the sniper class. So I would have to blind fire. But now in the Legendary Edition, I can zoom in with any class and it works fine. I just don't get the damage bonuses, and I don't. There's an ability called Marksman or Assassin where basically it does bullet time, which you don't get unless you have that class. So movement is more fluid. Like in the original Mass Effect, if you were not in combat, you could not run. So it was super annoying to walk around. In this one, you can run. So like getting around the Citadel does not take nearly as long. I mean, yeah, you can fast travel in the Citadel, but I can also run. Even though your run has a fatigue meter, at least I can get around a bit faster. Also, one of the biggest changes is the Mako. So the Mako is your land-based vehicle. If you played Mass Effect Andromeda, the Mako is more in tune to the Land Rover in Andromeda, where you get a boost. You can zoom in when you shoot. Like before, it did like the I guess if you're in Sniper Talk or in gaming Sniper Talk, it's like the 1 times versus this one you get like the 6 times zoom in, where you can super hone in and blast them away. Watch them disintegrate was fucking dope. Also, in the original Mass Effect, the Mako only had armor. In this one, it has shields and armor, so you can take way more damage and do way more fucking destruction. It's so much better. It's easier to get yourself unstuck because you're going to get your Mako stuck. It's going to end up flipping over, but it's easier to pop it up and whatnot. It performs way better. It moves faster when you first go in. The unexplored worlds still feel big, but not ginormous because you're able to get around faster, I guess. Even though the controls are enhanced, it still feels a bit 2007-ish because like the buttons aren't remapped and it doesn't basically perform like Mass Effect 2 or 3. I started Mass Effect 2 today and I was like, holy shit. Like I haven't played this in so long, but I was like, damn, this game is a definite like change in progression between Mass Effect 1 and 2. Don't get me wrong, with the Legendary Edition, it's way more enjoyable to play. You will get a little frustrated, but nowhere near like when you're first playing. Like your frustrations might be minor because like when you're boosting in the Mako, there's no cooldown because you can only boost for a certain amount of time. There's no cooldown indicator, so you have to kind of time it like in your head. That's kind of annoying, but it's not like a super egregious thing. The graphics are way enhanced in part 1, like super fucking enhanced. Like, oh my god, like things don't look all like matte and powdery. Like everything looks super crisp. Like there's flora and fauna on fucking planets now instead of just grass or whatever. Like some planets have weather systems. I landed on a system that had a sandstorm and a thunderstorm on it.
Nice.
What the hell? So that was new and different. Obviously, the sound's been enhanced. Like Mass Effect 1 had the most. I don't want to say overhaul, but I'll say the most improvements. So far, Mass Effect 2, there's been graphical improvements, but for the most part, the game plays just like it originally did so far. It's just, It feels a little faster though, I guess, because if you're running, the newer systems, it should be running faster. But
Don't
so
give me all
far,
that. Tell me how Miranda's ass is, man. Come on, man.
oh,
Get to the serious stuff.
I mean, she feels. I mean, dude, watching her, yeah, she feels like she's doing too. Miranda's doing too much. You can't be this slim thick on the console and be like,
hold on. I got a feeling like Onin just got Miranda fucking fleshlight.
oh man. No, I got a pillow, man. You know the flashlight. You got the pillow, full body pillow, just like Prodigy has a full body pillow of Griffith.
Oh.
Yeah.
Praise the White Hawk.
Oh man.
Your person's
yeah. So far,
I'm not gonna say it.
yeah. So far, I'm enjoying it. It's taking me back, especially playing part 2. I'm just like, damn. Part 2 is such a phenomenal game. I'm just like, damn, I forgot how great this game is. Like, I haven't played it in so long, but I'm just like, now I'm like stuck. Like, I didn't want to stop. And like playing Mass Effect 1. I guess they cleaned up some of the story a little bit. There's little details that they kind of changed a little bit. I'm like, okay, story wise, I feel like there was some, maybe some edited dialogue. Maybe they did some new stuff. I don't know. But I feel like they cleaned up a bit of the story a little bit, like cleaning up a little bit of the details, so it seamlessly merges better with the rest of the trilogy. But man, playing that, especially playing Mass Effect 2, it's so fun, so great. If a lot of people I know that have never played Mass Effect are also enjoying the Legendary Edition. There's one person I know, she's gone deep. Like, she's trying to outdo me on these achievements or whatnot, and how far she's gone. I'm like, you just started this game, so I'm Commander Shepard now. I'm like, oh man.
Are you fem shepping it? Or are you?
I'm gonna do both. Right now, I'm doing so in Mass Effect 3. The official fem shep was the redhead, which was not in Mass Effect 1 or 2, but now they do the redheaded fem shep. She has green eyes, like piercing green eyes. It's actually kind of weird, but you can be her all the way through, and it's great. It's worked out. She's got some. I don't know why BioWare did this, but they gave her DSLs, which is kind of weird. I'm like, why y'all got to do this to Shepard? But
awesome.
It still works.
I'll never forget. I went to like WonderCon, maybe like 2015, 2016. I saw this awesome fucking fem shep cosplayer, and I wanted to get her picture, and she was just like, I said to her, "Oh, that's a great fem shep cosplay." She was like, "It's Commander Shepard. Don't fucking call me fem shep." I was like, "Really? Is that serious?" Okay, Commander Shepard. Fine.
Yeah, man.
Best cosplay in the Citadel. You know what the fuck?
I've seen like all the Shepard cosplay I've seen have been immensely amazing. There's one cosplay I saw was some girl cosplayed as an Asari. I was like, oh my god, yeah, that looks super tough. And you know that she had been in it all day because her sweat started like loosening up the glue in her tendrils, but she was still such a good sport about it. And it was amazing. I think I'm pretty sure I took a picture because it's super rare to see people cosplay as an Asari. So it worked out really well. She did a great job.
Honestly, I'm glad that they did this Legendary Edition because honestly, Mass Effect 1, like I would recommend Mass Effect to people, but it's like you just got to get through the first one. The first one had a great story, but gameplay wise, it was fucking terrible. It was terrible. But
yeah,
this one it seems like they've really put some time and effort to like making it more playable for people. So yeah, I haven't played it yet, but from what I've heard, the gameplay on the first one was much better, and that was the main thing of like the price of entry to this series was, hey, just get through the shitty gameplay in the first one, and then be amazed by the second one. The third one is great as well. But now that's not the case. You can just you'll be fine in the first one.
Yeah, it's great. It's great because headshots actually register in the first one now.
I will say this. I think for Mass Effect 1, I mean, it still had really good reviews, like back in the day.
Yeah.
I think if you look through the lens, which is hard to do in 2021, but you look through the lens of 2007, and I don't think there were nearly as many complaints as you would have from modern games about the gameplay.
Well, I mean,
go back and look at those reviews, man. I did this recently.
Yeah, but I mean,
it was like one of the games of the year.
yeah.
Oh yeah, of course.
But let's be honest though. It was a first of really of its kind.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So they gave the game a lot of leeway, as far as like the gameplay goes. Like you go historically through anything, things are acceptable if you go back far enough. All right.
Yeah.
I'm saying,
So-
that's what I'm trying to be clear on. I think it's really. I agree with you with what you're saying for 2021. Absolutely. And even for maybe
No,
like
not
5,
even
6 years ago.
2021 and fucking
That's
2015.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Even for like 5, 6, 7 years ago.
Yeah.
But for 2007,
yeah.
it was nowhere. It was no like the worst gameplay or whatever. No.
No,
For
no,
that
no.
time period, it was considered one of the best games. Period.
Oh yeah. So
of that era.
I will say this: its biggest criticism was its gameplay, and the problem was the year before was Gears of War, and Gears of War did the cover system in and out way better than Mass Effect, and that's what was missing. However, everything else was great, but don't get me wrong, the gameplay back then was wonky, but it wasn't like, this game sucks. It was more like, this is kind of weird and a little frustrating, but I'm gonna still get through it. Like, it worked for the time. However, with the controls of Gears of War, that would have worked better for the game. And that's what you kind of get in Mass Effect 2. You get more of a Gears of War style combat, which works infinitely better. But still, they cleaned it up for the Legendary Edition. It still feels a little 2007-ish. However, it's way more enhanced. It's way more responsive. It plays a bit faster. You'll get through it just fine. Yeah. You'll have you'll have less gripes about it now than it did in 2007. So, highly recommend if you've never played the series. I feel like it's a must buy.
For context, because again, I'm not trying to do revisionist. From November 20th of 07, when I look back at the Metacritic for this, like on 360, which is where most people played, it was like at a 91 for the critics and like an 8.7, so very close. Yeah. Like almost everybody loved this game back in the day.
Everyone loved the game. I loved the game because I couldn't stop playing. I would be playing. I'd get home from work and I'd be like, I have to play this Mass Effect game. But yeah, there was some frustration, but the game was still fun. Everybody loved it. It was definitely one of the better games of 2007, if not the best game of 2007.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. Go ahead. You wanted to switch gears?
Yeah, I did. Have y'all played Hades yet?
No, wait. Where are you playing Hades at?
I have Switch.
Oh, okay, because it was only on PC if I remember.
No,
I didn't know it
came. It's on the Switch.
It was on the Switch? Okay.
Because I'm definitely playing it on the Switch.
Are you sure?
No, I was just seeing if it already came out for Switch. I should have clarified with that because I knew it was on PC. I didn't know it was already out on the Switch.
It's been out for the Switch. I'm waiting for it to drop on the PS4 and PS5. Because the game is actually really fucking good. So I was doing some research just before I started talking, because they're called rogues-like games, and I was just like, what the fuck is a rogue? Because I understand the concept of a rogue-like game or rogues-like game, but I was like, what's the origin? So apparently it was a game back in like the fucking 1980s called Rogue. Mm-hmm. So it goes back a long time. It's characterized as a dungeon crawl through procedurally generated levels, turn-based gameplay, which is kind of like not really a big deal in today's terms, grid-based movement, and permanent death of the character. So this is what Hades is like. So it's sort of like Returnal. Obviously, it came out before Returnal. But it's just like 3/4 top-down game. Think like the original Zelda. Actually, no, 3/4 down is not the original Zelda. That's totally top-down.
I thought that was Bird's Eye.
Yeah, right? that was totally top-down. 3/4 would be like Secret of Mana. That's 3/4 view.
Is that the same as like Diablo 3?
Yes, that's 3/4 view as well.
Okay.
So it's like a little bit of an angle on the view. And basically you play, I forget the guy's name, someone with a Z. I've been playing for just a little while, but it's very enjoyable. So basically you go through the underworld, trying to get out of the underworld, because your dad is Hades, and you have to figure out a way to go through like this crazy dungeon crawl to get out of Hades, out of the underworld, and I guess survive or whatever. And so every time you die, it's not it's not. I mean, you're penalized, but not really. It's just like you learn from like how you died, and then when you come back, everything is not in the same spots to where you were. So it's just like Returnal. But what's cool about this one is that the combat system is like really, really involved. So you have different kinds of weapons and different kinds of like perks that you can get in the game that you get way more often in Hades than you do in Returnal. In Returnal, when you get weapons and like perks like that, they're kind of sparse with them, to be honest. Things that are like meaningful are very sparse. In Hades, you get like these God's favors pretty frequently in the game, and they're randomized. So you can pick like which ones. Like you usually get to pick out of 3, like which one you want. And at the beginning of the game, like the beginning of your run, you get to pick which weapon that you want to use, and you have to unlock these weapons by getting like these weapon keys, and your weapon keys stay with you even through death. So it's a really interesting system, and there's a lot of like synergy between like the weapon that you have and then the like god perks that you get, like the divine favors that you get.
Are these Roman or Greek gods or a combination?
They are Greek gods, right? Because that'd be Hades.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Hades and Zeus and all that shit. Yeah, it's Greek gods. So yeah, it's a really well thought out game. The voice acting is excellent. The animations are really good. They have a lot of like systems upon systems to like how you want to customize your own gameplay. I can't wait for this to come out for the PlayStation, but for now I'm playing on the Switch. But I don't want to play on the Switch only because like I share the Switch with K-Mac and my 4-year-old, and so when they want to play, they'll just turn my fucking game off. But I'm in the middle of the run. Well, so what, Daddy? I want to play Mario. So yeah, but it's still really enjoyable though. Like every single one that I've done has been great. The boss battles have been pretty awesome. It's the same thing to where I usually don't get like real sweaty palms in gaming anymore, but in these fucking roguelike games, like I get like I was just playing Returnal today, and I reached like the 3rd boss for the first time, and I knew I was probably gonna die. And yeah, palms are sweaty, knees weak, mouth spaghetti. I'm just saying, yeah, it happened. Like just trying to like figure out all the patterns. I'm like, all right, I'm just trying to get through this one run to like figure out all the patterns, and then I can build myself up again and then defeat this guy. But yeah, these like when you get a boss battle, because you don't know. First of all, you don't know where the fuck the boss is gonna be. For the most part, you don't know if you have the right equipment for the boss. If it's a new boss, you don't know. You might be low on health, so you might have to backtrack and get more health. There's like a lot of things that take into account that you don't take into account for other games with save points, because there's no real saves in these games. So yeah, if you get a chance, check out Hades. A lot of our listeners have been playing this game. They recommended it. I'm playing it. Y'all are right. It's dope. Thank you very much.
Good shit. Good shit. Blue, bringing you back in here. What are you playing right now?
Myself.
God.
While we're in.
No, man, I kind of haven't had time to jump in on any games lately. Like,
Why, Blue? Why?
Like, 'cause I got a baby. Like, if I'm not trying to sleep, I'm like, make sure he's breathing and having a good time. Like, my PS5 is just hanging out there on the wall. It's sad.
Solid.
Sad and lonely. But, yeah, I haven't played. I want to pick up Lady Queen Vampire, but I didn't play. Yeah, I didn't play Biohazard first before I can get into that. So I downloaded it because it was free when you got your PS5 part of the PlayStation Collection. So I have that on there. I'm gonna jump on there, hopefully start playing it. But yeah, man, I'm looking forward to playing Village because the reviews for it have been fucking insane. And like, I was watching Adam Sessler do a thing on it, and his fucking take on it was fucking hilarious. Like, he kept saying like, yeah, he kept saying like, you try to ignore the hot, tall vampire queen and try to talk about the gameplay, but she kept coming back into the room. He's like, look, I don't want to talk about you right now. I just want to talk about the gameplay and all this different scary shit that happened. And she kept coming back into the room like, are you ready to talk about me? But yeah, I love that G4 is kind of somewhat back, and like Adam Sandler is still doing his game reviews.
Sessler.
Sessler. Not Sanders, my bad.
I'm so glad. Thank you for fucking like just listening. You know what I mean? In terms of like play 7 first, because Some people jumped up to Village. It's the hot new shit. I get it. I think Capcom said like literally last week it already surpassed 4 million, and it's for right now. And I haven't played everything. I haven't played Returnal yet, but for right now, it's going to be a nominee for my game of the year. But it's still early. But yeah, if you don't play 7, I really don't want to hear from you about Village. You know what I mean? Like, you just don't understand who the fuck Ethan Winters is. You know what I mean? You're going to be so unfamiliar with this fucking world. You might know Chris from like Resident Evil 5, you know, but like you need to fucking play 7.
Chris was in 3, right?
No, he was not in 3.
I think he was in 2 or 3 because it was Chris and Jill for 2, I think.
That was Kennedy, Leon Kennedy, and
it was Leon. Yeah, you're right.
And then in 3 you had Carlos and you had Jill Valentine. I know my Resident Evil now.
Yeah, I haven't played since 3, which is kind of sad. Like the game didn't. I played the one that took place in Africa. I think that was the last one I played.
That was 5. Yeah.
Yeah, 5 was the last one I played.
All good. I'm just gonna quickly say I finally did beat Village, and here's the biggest endorsement I can give for it. Immediately, I restarted the game on New Game Plus, and I'm working my way through and finishing off all the stuff I didn't collect and leveling up weapons. It doesn't let you fully level up unless you're a fucking expert on your first run. I do realize now that you can certainly do some speed runs, but again, I have to appreciate Capcom is just on a fucking a tear right now. They're making really good games. They're putting out high quality products, and Village is just fucking fun. The environments and the maps are some of my fucking favorite.
Interesting with Adam Sussler, he had mentioned how, like, you know, with the gameplay, like if you're in the castle for a portion of time, once you leave the castle, there's no going back. So you literally have to play New Game Plus. So for anybody who's just picked up the game, explore, try to find whatever you can. That's what the tips he gave.
If you turn all the rooms blue, you don't have to go back. But go ahead. Kronos, you had a question?
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
What happened to your eye, man?
Man, I think I blew some kind of blood vessel. I actually went to the ophthalmologist yesterday or whatever. He said it should heal up in a few days or something. But it fucking sucks.
Did Mishka bust you in the eye?
No, you already know what happened. Some food had busted right in his eye. Wow. This is what happens when you mess around with your live action footage. You get it right in the eye, just there.
That's not what's going on.
That's what happened. You know that's what happened.
2 things on this podcast I never recognized before. First of all, I didn't know you wore fucking glasses at all. And second of all, like, but also like the blood vessel. I've blown a blood vessel in my eye, so it'll heal, man.
Yeah, it's not painful at all. I woke up on Sunday. It was like this.
I was like, "Are you turning?"
Yeah, are you turning?
Are you turning?
I might be. I fucking thought I was, man. All the zombie shit I've been fucking playing and watching lately. But yeah.
I was gonna say, it's like the Christmas story. Like, you know, you're gonna shoot your eye out playing with them food, so you gotta be careful, man.
God damn it. It's only once a week. Speaking of goddamn zombies, though, did y'all watch Army of the Fucking Dead?
Not yet.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I've been consumed by Kim's Convenience. Kim's Convenience is so good, it's affecting my fucking sex life. I'm just saying.
Goddamn.
Oh damn.
Yeah.
It is a great show.
Is it on Amazon or is it
Netflix?
Like, how can people watch it? Oh, it's on Netflix. All right.
Yeah.
So I saw that it got canceled, and like people were trying to see if Netflix, if somebody can pick it up.
Yeah, I hope Netflix can pick it up because it kind of ended abruptly. Apparently, I've been watching interviews with Paul. I can't remember his last name, but he's the guy who plays Appa in the show. And he said that for him it was very sudden and abrupt ending to the show, and he wants to do more, but apparently it's a complicated issue with like the show writers and somebody else. So I don't give a fuck. I just need this show to keep going forever. Like, seriously, it's such a good show.
I agree. I'm like deep into season 2, but I love it. That one's great. But I do want to talk. I won't get too spoilery, but I gotta talk about Army of the Fucking Dead, man. Blue. What did you think? This is on Netflix. It was technically in theaters, but who the fuck's going to theaters in 2021? Right. Blue, what did you think of this? God damn it.
Like, this shit was fucking funny. Like it was fucking
movie.
hilarious. Yeah, it was hilarious for the fucking movie. Like it definitely is not a movie you can take serious because like shit just kind of goes off the walls kind of randomly and like there's a few issues I had with it, but overall like the whole fucking height it had kind of what was it the Suicide Squad feel to it, just a little bit. Like, well, especially with like their graphic art that they have for like their posters and stuff, it had a Suicide Squad feel. But just the whole fact that we got a fucking zombie goddamn lion or tiger, which I was like, you never really see that in fucking other zombie movies or whatever. And that shit was just fucking dope. Like, it was fucking cool. But we get like a kind of a new breed of zombies that I don't think I've seen before. Like, we have kind of intelligent zombies. I mean, we've had intelligent zombies in the past, but like, I mean, these are like, I don't know, like they have alphas and like betas, and like the alphas are like, the badass ones you gotta watch out for. The betas are like your beta males, like your little bitches. You don't have to worry about them too much. You can just kind of outsmart them. But like, yeah, it was just fun altogether. But like, kind of the issues I had, like I'll get into it later. What was your guys' take on it?
Oh, did you go?
I find it funny that Zack Snyder kind of like frowns on his movies being interpreted into video games, but when you watch his movies feel like live action video games. Like
Yeah.
when you're watching this, just like, oh, this is basically like if you put Rainbow Six or Modern Warfare and added, Left 4 Dead and a little bit of like GTA to it. That's what this game was all about. It's like the Ocean's 11 series meets Dawn of the Dead. It was basically like that. And what I didn't realize is the movie's 2.5 hours long.
That's
I was like,
long.
what the fuck? This movie's hella long for a zombie film, 2.5 hours, but it's a heist film with zombies. So it's like, what the hell? Because there's a lot of stuff that happens. There's a lot of craziness. There's a good amount of gore. Some people say there's a lot of gore. I think there's a good amount. I don't think there's a ton of gore.
I thought there was a
Um,
lot of gore.
I guess maybe that's just me. To me, I think there's a great little take on the origin of the zombies because like you literally get like all these theories really right off the bat, like in the first 5 minutes of where they came from and what's going on and I'm just like, oh, that's actually an interesting take. I never thought about that. Like I don't think a lot of people ever thought about that. And then when shit hits the fan, shit goes kind of crazy, and then like it kind of turns into a different movie and whatnot. It was definitely entertaining. I'll put it that way.
I'm with you on the fucking entertainment. First and foremost, give fucking props to Dave fucking
Yeah.
Bautista. Look here. We all loved him as Drax and Guardians and whatnot. I get that. But he's the lead here. It's an ensemble cast, no fucking doubt, but he's the fucking lead. And he's a great action star and interesting fucking actor. You can't like take your eyes off of him in terms of what he's gonna say or do next in this. He's just really fucking good. And the other thing I got to give props to, and I know it sounds fucking juvenile and whatnot, but fuck you. This is a fun movie. Zombie titties, goddammit.
Oh
Don't
yeah.
forget zombie fucking titties.
Wait,
You know what I
zombie?
mean?
Hold on, zombie strippers.
Zombie
Get that right,
stripper
zombie
titties.
strippers.
Fucking getting head in the car might be the start of the zombie apocalypse. Not to spoil nothing. And obviously, that tiger was ridiculous. Horses, zombie horses. You just had a lot of creativity going into this. I love the fact that. Oh no, I'm sorry. Let me stop. When people start complaining about, oh, so many people died from the main crew in this zombie movie, fuck you. You don't watch zombie movies then, and you don't like
Yeah.
horror at all. Obviously, what's going to happen in a zombie movie where there's a big cast, the overwhelming majority, 80 fucking 90%, aren't gonna fucking survive. We know that. It's a trope of the genre. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. But for me personally, I didn't mind the quote unquote length or whatever. Look, I watched
Hey,
3 hour in game. Like,
Oh yeah,
this was
and
2.5 and
4 hour Justice League.
yeah, 4 hour Justice League. If you need a break, if you're watching it on Netflix, pause it, go to the bathroom, get some popcorn, and come back the next day if you fucking need to. But you can make your own fucking intermission when it's on Netflix. So for whatever reason, that was kind of whatever. But It's setting it up perfectly for a sequel, and I love the fact that people are tripping out about the possibility of alternate timelines being heavily hinted in this movie. And I didn't expect that from a zombie movie. And there's credible theories from what you see on screen and what they say for certain characters that can almost confirm that this might be on an infinite loop in multiple dimensions and
Oh
whatnot.
yeah, I can see
I
that.
thought that was fucking wild.
Yeah,
So I
sorry.
love that.
Yeah, just kind of jumping off of that. Like, yeah, there's one scene, and it seems like, yeah, like this is something that's happening over and over again, and like it's basically a loop going on. And they hinted at that very fucking heavily too. Like the evidence was there right in front of you.
Yeah, one other big thing too, and there are some spoilers in here. I'm trying not to go too heavily deep, but one of the final-ish scenes, obviously you know that there's a vault, you know there's a heist aspect of it. They do mention, because people have gotten hung up on the heist stuff. They mention exactly, if you listen carefully with the subtitles on, what the vault could and could not do. But you have to fucking pay attention and actually listen and read, like, or listen to what they're saying and read the subtitles or whatever, because the vault has randomly generated codes that already have been attempted. So some people are mentioning that as a fucking plot hole and they're ridiculous.
That's
And
not. Yeah, that's an actual fact because like Vegas vaults are kind of like that. Usually they're digital, but an old Tumblr style one,
yeah,
some of those will do that. Those are actual safes
they
or
stated
vaults actually. Those.
they yeah
Yeah.
they stated in there if you pay attention. And then the other part that I just want to be clear on, there's a fail safe for people who get locked in safes as
Yeah,
well for these. Yeah,
that's the same thing as a freezer. If you're locked in the freezer, there's a way to get out. Either one, I'm talking about an industrial freezer, like a freezer for a restaurant or for like a butcher. So if you're locked in the freezer, there's usually a release to get you out because those things seal airtight. So either they give you a way to call the authorities to come and get you out, or there's an emergency release in order to get you out. And the same thing with safes. If it was an older safe, he might have been plugged. But a new Vegas safe, yeah, if you're locked in, there's a way to get you out. There's usually some kind of mechanism or some kind of like input that will let you get out. It's usually pretty easy.
Oh, Ninja, what if you're trapped in the closet like R. Kelly?
Well then, I bet he chose to get out though. And by the way, Prodigy, this isn't the first time we've seen zombie titties. If you've ever seen Return of the Living Dead, there's zombie titties in that. Like, actually, she's full on naked. You see Zombie Bush in that.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I was gonna say that we also see wonderful breasts and oh god, that one Quentin Tarantino movie with Emma Hayek, but she wasn't a zombie, she was a vampire, so that doesn't fucking count.
Oh, that's a Robert Rodriguez film. Quentin Tarantino stars in it.
Okay, yeah.
That's you're talking about From Dusk Till Dawn.
Yeah, that's what it was. But one of my problems, I'm kind of glad I got broke down the safe thing because that was like kind of the first problem I had was that like the owner of a hotel wants you to go break into his building and bust into his vault. It's like, can't you give him the combination?
Yeah. But like I just said, if you pay close attention, they do kind of explain exactly what's going on with that. If you think about it and listen carefully in terms of what kind of safe this is.
You just called
I guess people must have missed it because I knew what was going on. I mean, that's why they got a safe cracker to come and get it open.
But that kind of still doesn't make sense because I mean I'm thinking of like for like computers, like if your computer has like a token card or whatever, and it randomly generates code for you to be able to unlock your computer or not. So I would think for these safes they have to have like some kind of token that would give them the code. So being the owner of this book, I can understand why he would not want them to have the code because he's already insured. Like so technically he's got his fucking money. His insurance gave him that $200 million, whatever not. So I can understand him not giving them password just because of that. Because if he gave them the password or whatever, then his insurance was like, hey, they use the code, we gotta take your money back, blah blah blah. But like having like the code to unlock the thing would make things a whole lot easier, and it would save them a bunch of time.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, just because he may have been the owner, he may not have been the safekeeper. That could have
That
been
too.
the pit boss, because there's usually multiple owners and whatnot, and there's probably someone else that was involved with the the vault. And I think he says that person was dead when they're talking about it. I think when he's in the diner, pretty sure he says that person that was there is dead. And so, yeah, there's a. I mean, some people may not believe this because they don't know much about vaults. They just think that if you do the right combination, it opens. It's just like the Enigma device. The Enigma device would change on you, or basically, in order to solve it, it's really hard to solve. And they're basically that's what they're trying to do with the safe. It just had a lock to it.
One more quick thing. I fucking love the shout out to Aliens, another badass Ridley Scott fucking movie where you got the fucking tough Latina chick
Latina, yeah.
with the red bandana
Vasquez.
going,
Yeah.
going balls out. In this fucking movie, it was like a nice homage to that shit. I was like, okay, I see exactly what you're doing on that. And
That
she
was
fucking stole
totally
the show in her
blatant.
scene.
She was blatant too. She had almost the exact same outfit,
Yep.
camouflage and everything. The only difference was she had long hair. It was
Yeah.
pretty much
That was it.
the only difference. Everything else is like I'm like, oh, I see you, alien shout out. Like it was pretty evident.
Yeah.
I like how they
Same attitude and everything.
Absolutely.
I like how the time frame just kind of they went by like Dragon Ball Z fucking time frame where it's like the bomb's gonna blow up in a fucking hour. It's gonna take us like 50 hours to be able to fly from one side of the city to the other. It's like, come on now. I mean, that's why I thought it was fun. Like I didn't take the movie serious. Like there was a lot of continuity issues, but like it was overall it was a good fucking time. Like the other problem I have is like where the fuck these blue-eyed robots come from?
Well, yeah, I think this is going to be the start of something.
Yeah.
He left a lot of breadcrumbs in this one for prequels and sequels. So we'll see. I'd be interested in watching more. Anyway, sorry, I know you didn't watch it, but I want to switch gears on something else that you did see or.
Talking to me?
Yeah,
Are you talking to me? So the Eternals trailer dropped recently, and I think that this has potential to be Guardians of the Galaxy surprisingly good. Hopefully, they have some questions to answer because a lot of folks don't know who the fuck the Eternals are. Luckily, Marvel did the right thing this time, and they made a new run of the Eternals, and it's actually pretty good because it gives like the history of the Eternals and like how they're connected to Thanos and all this shit. So if y'all want to read up on the Eternals, there is a new Eternals comic book series. Let me see if I have the latest one that I've read on here. I think it's number 4. Here it is. It is number 4. This is what the comic looks like. Right here. And all the characters that you're going to see in the Eternals movie are in this comic. Icarus and a bunch of other people, Gilgamesh, and like you'll see them all, and then you'll recognize them in the trailer. But yeah, the Eternals are basically almost godlike beings on Earth. So they're the same people that. So they're connected to Thanos because basically the Eternals were on Earth, and then a sect of them went to Titan, and they became the Titans. And that's who gave birth to Thanos. He's a Titan. So that's why he's so tough. And even though he technically is a mutant.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, but he's like incredibly tough. He has all these incredible powers just from birth. And the other Eternals have similar, like, badass powers. So some of them are incredibly fast, incredibly durable, incredible amounts of destruction. So I look forward to seeing this movie. I think they have a pretty decent cast for the movie. And like I said, I think that people are going to be hesitant to watch it because it's like, well, who the fuck are these guys? Same thing with Guardians of the Galaxy. I think if they do this movie right, then it has potential to be a surprise, potential surprise hit like Guardians of the Galaxy. And I think it's going to come out in a time when people are going to start to come back to the movie theaters more. I think it's going to come out in 2022, I believe.
No,
I think it's later this year. I
this year?
think it's in the fall.
Well, even in the fall.
Something like that.
In the fall, hopefully, if we don't have another surge of COVID, this can do incredibly well in the theaters. It could be like one of our first real blockbusters in the theaters. So I have high hopes for the movie. I think it's going to expand the MCU as far as like how as far as like the Marvel universe goes. We already had some inklings of that with Captain Marvel because they introduced the Skrulls, and that opens up the universe. With the Eternals, I think it's going to get even more cosmically aware of like these other beings inside the Marvel universe. So hopefully it's good. I have high hopes, but if it sucks, I'll be the first one to say it sucks.
Yeah, so we're supposed to get 4 MCU movies this year. So Black Widow's out in July, then we'll have Shang-Chi in September 3rd, and then Eternals November 5th, and then in December we'll have Spider-Man. So we're about to
those last two are really close.
real close together. Yeah, they're a month apart. So
I mean, I'm going to be very honest. This is not me saying that I've seen the fucking movie. The trailer was a little dull for me. I mean, it didn't like make me, laugh or feel inspired to run out and like opening weekend watch it just from just the trailer. Not talking about reading the comics that Cronus went over, but the trailer itself didn't like overwhelm and wow me. We'll see when it drops. Maybe there's going to be a second trailer or whatever, but it didn't quite feel exciting for me.
Well, I think
Salma Hayek is this one, right?
Say again? Yes, she's in it. I think it's and so was Angelina Jolie. So
Yeah.
I'm excited about the Stark reunion in this show. We got Robin Jon Snow in this.
yeah, it should be. I mean, honestly, like Guardians of the Galaxy didn't have great trailers either. Most people were confused by it; they didn't understand. But it was one of those. I'm pretty sure Guardians of the Galaxy, well, the first weekend wasn't that great, but then the second weekend was awesome because the guy had word of mouth. I have a feeling that this might reach that level, but it's not going to be funny. So it's not going to be as funny as Guardians of the Galaxy. That'll be something that'll be sort of missed. But it's going to be cool to see like the origins of man from the Marvel perspective. I think that could be really interesting to nerds.
Well, and I'm going to also say this. I don't know how they're going to do it, but I'm fucking completely on board if whatever storyline they choose to bring Fantastic Four and mutants in. You know what I mean? If it's via, an after credit scene with Eternals, then so fucking be it. I don't care how it actually occurs. And it may not be from comic canon, but if you get mutants in, I'm on board.
Yeah.
But I gotta be honest, I wasn't like blown away.
I mean, I think honestly they could build. They already have hints to it in the trailer, where they're talking about Tony Stark and Captain America not being around again. So this is obviously in the same universe. So them talking about, I think one of the guys even said like I can be the new Captain America or some shit like that. But I think that this could be like a really good reboot of the next phase. Not a reboot, but the next phase of the MCU is that's showing like these godlike characters overlooking Earth and taking over like where the Avengers were. Because obviously the Avengers are right now they're done because there's no more Captain America, there's no more Iron Man, there's
they technically have a new Cap though. Technically,
they're gonna have a new Cap, but the Avengers still is they're done. They're done for now. So there's gonna have to be a new shuffling of the Avengers, and I think that this could be, hopefully, if they do it right, it could be really cool, especially like introduce like all these new characters. I mean, they're making a Blade movie too, so I think that they're gonna potentially have the same sort of success of the last 3 or 4 phases of the MCU into this new start of the 5th phase. I think it's the fifth phase, right?
I think it's 4th.
Is it 4th?
Right?
Okay. Well, going into this new phase, I think that they could start it off right by kind of because when the last phase ended, basically everything ended, and so you need a new beginning with new heroes, and they're introducing all new heroes. It's not going to be done like the Avengers where they get introduced to them to you like one by one, but this is going to be like one core group of people of superheroes that they're going to introduce first, and then after that, multiple other heroes after that. I think it's going to be cool.
I think it's also painfully obvious they're doing young Avengers of some sort. Like that's what they're fucking leading into. Like
I mean,
I
we've
think
already
even Black Widow is going to give you another Black Widow. Like you know what I mean? Her
I mean,
sister or whatever.
we've already been introduced to a couple of the
Yeah.
Young Avengers already.
We
We're
got
going to
like,
see a couple more.
we got Miss Marvel coming out, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a TV show.
Oh, it's a TV show, okay.
Yeah, but I mean, again, it's I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball. I'm not Kevin Feige, but it certainly looks like that's what they're leading to. And it makes sense in terms of the success of Avengers. You know, do use the same label and make it Young Avengers, and there you go.
But then again, like these TV series, like the Disney Plus TV series for Marvel, have been fucking killing it. Like Bucky and Forrest Gump, the Fisherman, whatever.
Like Captain Falcon and Mr. Gump.
How dare you? It's Captain America or the Sam and Bucky show. Get it right. Put some respect on it.
But no, like that series was really good. That was really well done, and it was almost like a weekly Marvel fucking movie, basically.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit toned down, but like even WandaVision was really fucking good for a TV series, and they kind of still tie into the Marvel universe. So
They do.
Ms. Marvel, she can start off as a TV series. They can build up the character that you get know more about her, and then bam, Young Avengers.
That's exactly it.
In like what? June 9th, we're going to get the Loki TV series.
Mhm.
So we'll probably be introducing some new characters in that show too. So
Yeah, I
We
mean,
shall
I said it for a long time. I mean, for most of the MCU, I want to say like 2/3 or half of it. We all know the best fucking villain prior to Thanos was Loki. That's why they kept bringing him back over and over again. So we'll see. Yeah. Okay. Let me mention something real quick too. Switching gears. I gotta give some props to Stitch. He recommended something that I'm fucking in love with. I only watched the fucking pilot. Snowfall. I don't know why the fuck it took me so goddamn long to get on board with this. This is a legit fucking GTA meets The Wire on the West Coast with a little bit of Straight Outta Compton, all mixed together. Just watch the fucking pilot. I think it's on Hulu. For the reruns, or you can watch it live on FX. This has all the fucking elements with the crack epidemic and LA and Contras and CIA. This is just, and it's fun. It's not all fucking, here's a fucking history lesson. No, it's fun and dynamic and has a whole lot of fucking heart. I'm already fucking sold, and I've only watched one episode. I'm gonna binge it.
I swear to God, the way you guys were talking about it in the chat, I thought you guys were talking about a fucking game. So it's like, oh man, are you jumping on that Snowfall thing? I'm like, that's a game I fucking missed. You're like, what console is this available on? You're like, oh no, it's a TV series. I'm like, oh shit, all right, I gotta check this out then.
Strippers and cocaine are flowing. There's a whole lot of fucking sex in this, and a whole lot of fucking dead bodies. So buckle up. Don't let your kids watch.
Did any of you guys watch? Did any of you guys watch Dave on Hulu?
No, I've been meaning to. This little Dicky show,
Little
right?
Dicky? Yeah. So season 2 drops soon. I think it comes out maybe this Friday, I think. But I just wanted to see if you guys watch it. It's fucking hilarious.
I need to start. I'm in behind. Really quickly, anybody watch MODOK? MODOK dropped on Hulu.
Is that
over
good?
the weekend.
I'm gonna watch it
Yeah, what's
next
the
week.
thing on it?
I watched the first 3 episodes. If you're a fan of like Seth Green's comedy and Robot Chicken, you'll love this show.
So watch it when you're high.
It's
is what you're
basically-
saying. That's code for watching
Yeah.
when you're high.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
At 2
because
a.m.
Yeah.
it's literally like a Marvel property with the Robot Chicken like kind of jokes and settings. So I mean, it's not necessarily for me. I mean, it is kind of enjoyable, but I've never been a huge fan of Robot Chicken. But it's a lot like fucking Robot Chicken.
Is it the claymation kind of stop motion?
Yeah, it's like this it's like the stop motion kind of stuff. It's just better graphics. They do a better thing. I mean, it's weird because it's kind of gory. Like people lose their arms and shit, and people
That's
get.
what Robot Chicken was.
Yeah, that's what I just said. It's like Robot Chicken. Like there's an experiment that literally grows and then explodes from the inside, like covering people in blood and shit. And like it's super crazy, but it's just like that Robot Chicken type humor. So if you're into that, this is the
Is
perfect
it-
show for you.
How is it compared to Harley Quinn? Because Harley Quinn is fucking.
It's
That's
not.
probably one of the greatest animated series right now.
It's not. It's not the same. It's not. It's not like traditional animation. This is more of a like the stop motion claymation type stuff.
I'll answer your question, even though I haven't seen it. What I think the answer is from Old Ninja. It is not the same, but it doesn't sound like it's up to Harley Quinn's level of excellence.
It's on a different level.
Okay.
It's hard. It's hard to explain.
It's funny, goddammit. The Harley Quinn fucking every episode.
I've only seen the first 3 episodes, and there's 10 episodes, and they're all on Hulu. They all got released all at once.
Wait, Prodigy, have you watched Harley Quinn yet?
Yeah, man.
Max.
I'm on season 2, I think.
Yeah, season 3 is the latest one.
But no, you hit the nail on the fucking head with that one. Harley Quinn is a fucking one of the best animated comedy shows I've ever fucking seen.
Yeah.
Especially in the DC universe. That shit is great.
Actually, the other one he hit on the head was the Deathstroke. Monster Dragons and Monsters or whatever? I think it's on HBO Max if I'm not mistaken.
It's on there, but only the first episode is on there. Like we never got a second episode.
I think it's a full movie
thing now. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought the whole thing was on. I thought it was like a. I don't think there's that many episodes, but I mean, if you haven't watched it, it's on HBO Max. Highly recommend. It's the animated Deathstroke. Is it Dragons and Monsters or Dragons and
Dragons?
It's Knights and Dragons.
Yeah.
There you go.
But no,
Deathstroke, Knights and Dragons.
the whole reason why I stumbled across it was because it was on CWC. Like I got done watching The Flash, and it came up, and so I was like, "Oh, let me check this out." And I was like, "This is dope as fuck." And it was like a full
unedited.
Yeah, and like I had the taste that it was going to be a series, but I think it said episode 1, but we never got like episode 2 or episode 3, unless they release it. I just fucking not know about it.
Yeah, I think that's what he's saying. I think that's on there now. So
I gotta check this out then and see if I have seen it all or if I've only seen half of it.
Yeah, it was really good.
Well, no, because I know at the end he takes his son and his son fucking basically fucks him over.
yeah. Kronos, I got a question for you.
Sure.
Did you finish up this Castlevania? Goddammit.
No, I'm behind. I need to
Okay.
sit down and make time for it.
I'm behind too.
Kim's Convenience has been eating up the vast majority of my day. It's one of the most wholesome shows on TV right now. I have to give it the most amount of accolades I can possibly give. It's really good. It's Canadian. It's about an Asian family running a convenience store, and there's the way that they tackle various social issues is really well done. And I know they won a bunch of awards. I know it ended abruptly, but they need to keep it going. I don't care how it happens. This needs to be Simpsons level, run of. You know what's crazy is that the guy that plays Appa, the dad, he's only 7 years older than me.
Wow. He plays a 60-year-old on there really well.
Yeah. So it's funny because hearing him talk in real life, he sounds much younger. But yeah, that's just the way he looks. I mean, if you're graying and losing your hair, you're gonna look way older than you normally would. But he's an excellent actor. All the actors on there do a really good job. Watch the goddamn show. If you got Netflix, you got no excuse. It's weird because I'm planning on moving to Canada sometime in the future. When that will be, I don't know. But it's interesting how similar American culture is to Canadian culture. You almost forget that it's a Canadian show until it's certain words like sorry. They say sorry.
Yep.
And there's a couple other words too. But it's still everything else. Just it seems very similar to American culture, and I think it's especially when it comes to immigrants and people that have different sexualities and stuff like that. It's really well done. So definitely check it out. Stitch talked about it a while back, but he's totally right. It's a great show. Everybody should watch it. So
I'm with you.
Yeah,
I learned about the Korean invasions and Korean wars and the Korean not theme song, their fucking national anthem on that show. So good.
Yeah.
Did they do the whole like the cheesy Asian Korean stereotype of the show, or is it's just a fun family that own a convenience store?
Yeah, it's a fun family, but I mean they deal with serious issues too. Like
Hmm.
I mean, as like a even in the first episode, there was an issue with the son and the dad. So basically, the son got kicked out of the house when he was still a kid, and so that's like an ongoing issue throughout the entire show of him like getting kicked out of the house and because he did something wrong, and his dad basically disowned them and like seeing them like reconcile over time, like over an extreme amount of time, is like really cool to see. So it's not the show is not like a normal show because what I don't like about a lot of shows, especially today, is that they try to like do these really weird like stereotypes, especially with dads, of like dads being like terrible and incompetent. Like it's a serious trope in America, but nobody are in like just general like North American culture. You know, is that the dad's always incompetent. He doesn't really care about his kids. He's not there for the kids. Blah 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 blah. Even though what I just said about like him like kind of disowning his own son, he's they reconcile, um, and he's still there for like his daughter, like and he's a strong father, and I think that people can probably how do I say it? They'll probably see glimpses of like their own father or somebody they knew was kind of like him in the show, in the way that he handles like certain situations. Like certain times he's like a real hard ass on things, and certain times he's like trying to learn on like how to be a better father. And I think that that's something that we need in general, like just in the world, is like showing that hey, you know, people are flawed, and if you get a chance to work on your flaws and become a better person, then you know that's the way to go. Other than just I'm going to be a dumbass father forever, you know. So yeah, especially as a father, I really enjoy the show.
I definitely gotta check it out.
Awesome.
They kind of jump back to Deathstroke, Knights and Dragons. So I did a quick little research, and it looks like the movie was supposed to be a 12-part series that originally dropped in April of 2019, and for some reason it never continued after that. After like the first episode dropped on CWC, but then it was released as a movie in August 4th of 2020. But I believe when they aired it on CWC, they had the entire fucking movie on there. Because I actually jumped up on HBO Max and I kind of fast forward kind of close to the end, and I've seen this whole entire movie. And I've only watched it on CWC, so CWC actually has a full entire movie available back in April, and they finally released it on Blu-ray in August. But like, yeah, this shit fucking dope.
Yeah, and it's crazy because CWC is free. Anybody
Yeah,
can watch it.
Yep.
Sign up right now, and you don't have to sign up. All you gotta do is just go to the site. You don't need to sign up. You just pick what show you want to watch, and boom.
Well,
And
what's
that's
kind
how
of cool is Krypton is on CWC right now too.
Oh,
it
nice.
is.
Yeah.
All of it too. The first 2 seasons.
I think that was all there
There's
was.
there's only 2 seasons. Yeah.
Goddamn
So on there.
futuristic fucking civilization with goddamn living in caves with fucking dirt and shit.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, and it's also I was kind of weird, but I guess because the bloodline of General Zod is like they're black on Krypton, so I was like, wait, what? And I guess there's versions of Zod. I mean, there's Zal Zod's father, General Zod. He's black, obviously. So
I mean, here's the thing. You know, everybody gets all bent out of shape, but you know, you are technically, even though they look human-like, talking about aliens. So you can do whatever wild ass shit you kind of want to if it's on an alien planet, right?
it's very true. Very true.
Except you can't cast Goku as a white guy.
Oh,
You can't.
damn.
Damn.
Can,
Where else?
Well,
go
since
ahead.
we're
can I?
talking about Superman.
Oh, you want to talk about Superman? Go ahead.
Well, no, because we have here on the list the topic about how the CW is going to be. Or no, WB wants to make a Black Kal-El movie.
Yeah.
I mean, there is a
Wow.
life.
The way you guys said that was like fucking terrible. That was fucking terrible. What? Okay, so give your opinion on that, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not like very enthusiastic about this. It seems like it seems like they're just doing basically a black face over the Kal-El character that's been around for 80 plus years, rather than the Superman-like Kryptonians in alternate universes that actually are different from the Kal-El we've known. That are some of them, are various ethnicities. So
Hold on.
it seems weird to me.
Are they talking about making like Clark Kent black or?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's Kal-El Clark Kent
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's
as black. That's the sticker that like really like that seems weird to me, like wild to me. Especially given the fact you got Steel, you got Valzad.
Balzad.
Yeah, you got other Kryptonians. And you even have from Milestone Comics Icon, that's basically a Superman-like black man character. So there's other things you could do, but this is weird to me.
So I think technically Calvin Ellis, who is Black Superman, in another universe, I think his name is still Kal-El.
His name is Kal-El. It's just instead of a hyphen, it's all one word.
Yeah, so I think they could still technically get away with this if they do it in the right way, because it would introduce the multiverse. But I don't fucking know. So
yeah, so that's what I don't understand. So they're saying that Henry Cavill is doing. Apparently, he's supposed to be showing up as Superman in other films, but he won't get his lead as Superman. So I don't understand if they're going to do this with Calvin Ellis, Kal-El, or Valzad, and Cavill shows up from a different universe and is like, hey, I can show you how to be a real Superman, or like, maybe these two meet or something, or if they're doing alternate universe stuff, or if they're rebooting. So it's super, super sketch right now. There aren't that many details. So I'm just like, well, what's happening over there? What are you guys doing? Are you... Apparently, I guess the Snyderverse is dead if your guys aren't going to connect all this stuff. So who knows?
Look, there's way more of outrage from possibly having a black Superman than there was with having a black Nick Fury. So nobody cared about Black Nick Fury, and there was one before that. There wasn't one in the comics, and when Samuel L. Jackson became Nick Fury, nobody cared.
No, that's not true. No, hold on, that's not true. Nick Fury was in the Ultimate Universe comics prior to Sam Jackson.
Okay, well then this is literally the same thing. Literally the same thing. Same fucking name. And why is there an issue now?
We still don't quite know. When you say Kal-El spelled with that hyphen?
No, don't, man. You're kind of back.
What do you mean? No, I'm saying when you say spell Kal-El, you're talking about that same Clark Kent that we've known for 80 plus years. Valzad, obviously multiverse and all that.
His name in America, his name when he gets to wherever is different. It's Calvin Ellis. But when it came to Nick Fury, his name was still Nick Fury in a different universe, but he was black. And once he was in the MCU, he was, he was fine. Like, nobody really cared. Even in the comics, it wasn't really a big deal because they understood, most rational people understood there was a different universe. And the black Nick Fury won out over the Caucasian Nick Fury.
Agreed, but two quick things. Superman's a much bigger character than Nick Fury ever was, one. But secondly, what it sounds like Warner Brothers is doing is taking Clark Kent Kal-El and just making a black version.
If that's true, maybe, but I still go back to the whole Nick Fury thing because it's still literally Nick Fury. and people didn't care. You might, I mean, yeah, you can say that Superman's a bigger character. Yeah, it's true, but still, like, why is it a big deal?
I think I want to say you have to look at it like, because I mean, Superman is kind of basically a god, and for people to see their god as being black, it's just gonna fucking have head rolling.
Well, that's getting into theological shit, but I mean, honestly, I don't. There's a precedent already in the comics. If there's a precedent in the comics, why can't we accept it in the movie theater? Or
we will see what they do. I think it's still slightly different to take the comic black character and make a movie out of him is different from a Clark Kent Kal-El, but we're just going to give him a basically a black actor, but he's basically Henry Cavill's character as with a black actor.
yeah, but we don't know if that's the case though. So yeah, I would agree with you if they literally just took the traditional Clark Kent character and just made him black. Yeah, I agree with you, but we don't know that. So I'm gonna go off of the actual comics, and if they do it like the comics, then for me it's fine. It's totally fine.
I'm with that too. Like I mentioned, Steel or Valzad or
Icon. I mean, a lot of people are waiting. Icon's basically like Superman too, even though he's an alien. But we haven't. They could have easily pulled him in. I mean, I think that would be a perfect character to introduce.
You know what this would be like for me? It's like you're doing, let's just say, a Wonder Woman movie, and instead of Nubia, you actually do Diana Prince, but she basically looks like Nubia, and people would be like, well, why aren't you Nubia?
Yeah, but that's the thing, man, is that we don't know that's what they're doing. Yeah, we're going on hypothetical. If that's what they do, then yeah, it's bad. But we don't know if that's the direction that they're going. Like, we honestly have no idea. Also, this entire conversation, I've been thinking about Black Superman by Above the Law. It's a badass fucking song. I'm just saying. Y'all remember
I thought you were going to talk
Black Superman?
I thought you were going to talk about the drink.
No. There's a song by fucking Above the Law called Black Superman. It was fucking badass. I listened to that shit for a long time.
That was good stuff.
Wait, why is this stuck here?
It looks like people are kind of they wanted Michael B. Jordan to play Kal-El, Kryptonian, Superman, which I can see him being the black version of Calvin Ellis. Is that the black name?
Calvin Ellis. I mean, if they kind of fix his teeth, I would say Michael Jai White should be up there.
Hey, ain't nothing wrong with his teeth. Hey,
he's got a little gap.
Go see him in real life. Tell him something wrong with his teeth.
Your teeth might end up like his.
All right.
We need another Black Dynamite.
There's something wrong with my teeth. I don't give a well, I'm going to get my teeth fixed, but whatever.
He said, I don't give a fuck, but I'm going to get fixed.
We need another Black Dynamite movie.
We do. Well, here's the thing. That's the other great news. Michael Jai White is opening his own fucking studio. I saw that, and I was like, whoa, good for fucking him, So I'm excited about any project that he's got, TV, movie, or otherwise, that's coming out of his own fucking studio, because he's hilarious, he's got the martial arts skills, he's cool, badass dude.
Even Black Dynamite, the animated series that was on the Cartoon Network was fucking hilarious. Like, the episode with the Jackson 5 was fucking hilarious.
Oh, I love that series.
The episode where with OJ, that was pretty fun.
Oh yeah, that was good one too. Dude, sorry, kind of jumping before you switch gears. Kind of jumping on OJ. Naked Gun is on HBO Max. It might be on Netflix, but I watched that recently. That movie still holds up. It's so fucking funny. Like
Leslie Nielsen.
I forgot about the scene where him and that girl hook up, and he's like, "Do you have protection?" He's like, "Oh, he carry protection." And they up getting fucking giant goddamn condoms and having sex.
Body condoms.
Dude, I was on the floor fucking laughing so fucking hard for that whole scene, and Sweden's like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?"
I used to watch those on fucking loop, man. Naked Gun was my fucking shit growing up. Like, I didn't get all the jokes when I first watched it, but then as I got older, I was like, oh, that's why that's fucking funny. As it kept going on. Those movies were great.
All right. That was like Police Academy.
Yeah, watching it now as an adult, and it's probably the first time watching it as an adult. I was like, the humor in this shit's fucking ridiculous. It's so fucking funny.
All right.
Yep.
Let me because we don't talk about comics enough on this podcast, unfortunately. People ask every now and again, "What the fuck is comics at? Where the fuck are the comics at?" All right, so I'm gonna give you like a rapid fire of shit that I read in the past couple days that I enjoy. All right, comic series that I enjoy. Real quick. So the hold on, I'm trying to fucking rearrange shit in my hand. So the Joker comic, which is like the semi-future state, but not really. Like DC comics are in like a weird state right now with like where they are with like timelines. They're in between like future state, and then there's another one, and then like the normal comics. This is like the normal ones. So this is the Joker. Number 3, and this is the variant. It's a dope ass variant of the Joker.
Jentleson.
Yeah, they're really good because apparently Commissioner Gordon, sorry, former commissioner, he is tasked by a mysterious group to hunt down and kill the Joker, which is very interesting. So it's a great storyline. Another one by Image Comics is called Geiger. And it's by...
I've seen that.
Yeah, it's excellent. This is the number 2. It's by the main character. He had cancer, and then a nuclear war happened. And he had a fallout shelter in his home. And as he was trying to get his family into his home, a bunch of like thugs like started to attack his home. He protected his family, got him into the shelter, but him and his dog got left out. And because of his cancer, he got exposed to radiation and became basically superpowered. So it's a great comic so far. Heroes Reborn is the latest new thing from Marvel Comics, where Blade gets transported into like some weird alternate universe where the Avengers didn't exist because Steve Rogers was never found. And so the Squadron Supreme, they became basically the Avengers, and Hyperion is like the top god. So that's very interesting, and also just like as a reading for before you watch the movie is the Eternals comic, because it explains exactly who the Eternals are in detail and like what they can do and shit like that. So and their connection to Thanos. So that's my really quick thing on comics. I'll try to do this more often. I'm a bit behind. These are obviously I'm behind on comics, but these are still relatively recent within the past month. So
good shit. All right, let's wrap it on up, guys. Unless we have any B's and B's. I don't think so. Yeah, that's all good. What you got popping this week?
So I'm just recovering from my COVID second shot, so we'll see if I survive the week. Playing a lot of Mass Effect Legendary Edition. I'm on part 2 right now. I'm going for achievement hunting in this, so I'm probably going to play right after this. Everyone's been talking about Destiny 2's new season because they brought back Volta Glass, and it looks like they're going to be bringing back some of their older raids or ones that they deleted. They're probably going to bring back, but the Volta Glass is the new one that everyone's going back to. It's been updated, so it's a bit more challenging. A lot of the old glitches have been fixed, so I guess there's kind of a new glitch, but it's like a glitch they, I guess, wanted people to try, but you got to work for it. Like, it's more effort than it really needs to be. It's better off just to kill Atheon the way you're supposed to, so that way once they kind of fix the glitch, you won't be stuck. So I got my set of comics too that I'm behind on, and then got some books I gotta finish because there's another Star Wars book coming out in the next couple weeks, so gonna be trying to prep for that. And then that's kind of about it.
Good shit. Yeah. Blue, what you got?
Let's see. I'm gonna try to do some gaming this week because I got a 4-day weekend coming up, y'all. Because the company I work for, I know Monday it's Memorial Day or Labor Day or one of the days. I always get those two confused. But for
Memorial Day,
they're giving their employees a Friday off, so they give them a 4-day weekend, which is kind of fucking dope. for them to do that. So like for the rest of the year, for all the holidays that falls on a Monday, they're giving them that Friday before off, which I think is kind of cool. But yeah, I'm trying to do that. I want to clean up our garage so that because I want to, I want to pick up my bike so I can start riding like inside my garage just to kind of get like a good workout in. So I want to do that this weekend. Definitely try to keep Baby Bash alive. He's slowly getting bigger and like the kid's moving and it's really funny. He actually peed on me earlier. Oh no! So we were giving him a bath earlier today, and his little wee was sticking outside of the water, so it kind of sprayed up like a Bellagio fucking fountain. It was like it was fucking funny. But yeah, just watching him grow is fucking great and amazing. But other than that, yeah, just fucking chilling, doing yard work. I feel like I'm always doing yard work, but like, yeah, hopefully I can get some gaming in big time. Looking forward to that.
Good shit. Cronus, what you got?
So last week, I think on Saturday, the first time I went to a restaurant with K-Mac in over a year.
Wow.
So yeah, we went to a place called the Ambrose Butchery in Niles. And
Oh wow!
yeah, it's Niles. It's a dish. It's a part of Fremont, California. It was really good. So it's a good replacement for remember the Vine.
The Vine, yeah, that place is great.
Yeah, this place is pretty good too. Like I enjoyed their food. They have a really great beer selection. They had a good wine selection. Even I didn't drink their wines, but I had their beer. Their beer selection was great. The food was great. But they had the same sort of like backyard seating area as the Vine did. So.
Are they in the same location as the Vine was, or are they?
No, it's like a block or two up. It's in the same area, but it's just a block or two up. But yeah, it's nice. It was nice to really like get out and have food that was hot. Because usually we order food. It's not when it gets here. It's not hot. It's not cold either, but it's usually not hot. But yeah, it was nice to actually feel like real life again. So that was nice. I'm going back to doing jiu-jitsu in the next probably 2 weeks.
Wow.
In a small pod. I'm not going to a gym yet, but I will roll with people that I know are vaccinated and that I'm comfortable with rolling with. So yeah, so I guess that part of my life is gonna move on finally. Over a year. And I'm gonna get back to it. I might fucking cry when I finally get to choke somebody, or I get choked out, which is likely the case because I haven't done jiu-jitsu in over a year, which is very odd for me. But yeah, other than that, just doing the same old. I'm loving going on walks with my 4-year-old now because she likes doing walks with me.
That's cool.
So yeah, that's cool. I didn't think she would like doing walks, but she does because we live on a fucking hill. I'm like, I don't want this kid to fucking pass out walking up a hill, but yeah, she's fine. I guess because she's 4, but yeah, that's all I got.
That's dope shit, man.
One quick thing. The Swedish is getting her second vaccination on Sunday, so she's gonna have the side effects on Monday. So it's gonna be just today, just me and the kid, pretty much. Me taking care of. I've done it in the past, taking care of him, but like he's gonna be kind of out of commission because that second vaccine shot is no joke. You should definitely get it, but it's no joke.
Yeah, real quick update for the podcast because we're all vaccinated. Oh, didn't you got your second vaccination, right?
Yeah, I got it on Monday.
Okay, so in the next couple of weeks, hopefully we'll be able to get back together again. Sort of oddly, the universe aligning itself. The company that I work for, they are getting rid of all of their in a certain location. They're getting rid of all their office
equipment.
Yeah, and so they have some like conference tables that are available. So if the one that I want to get, because I can't get one because they have ones that are like fucking 17 feet long, and
damn,
that's like literally the length of the fucking studio. But if I can get one that's like 5 to 7 feet long, I'll get it and then I'll set up the podcast. And it's like for crazy cheap. And it's literally the color of it is the same color as the floor. So it's like fucking perfect.
Oh.
Nice.
So if I can get it, I'll buy it tomorrow and then I'll pick it up next week so I can reorganize the studio for the rest of it. Because right now it's not set up for like more than just me. But if I can get that fucking table, then we'll be good to go. We'll have like a much better setup when we actually relaunch the in-person podcast again. I'm looking forward to it because I miss you guys.
Miss you too. Yeah, just don't die on us, old ninja.
No promises.
Real quick.
I mean, you still got the Lazarus pit.
God damn it.
I do like that pit.
Real quick for me, I fucking thoroughly enjoyed Castlevania. So when you guys finish that up, we gotta fucking talk, man. That shit hit me in the fucking feels.
We should have Sam Dietz back on.
Oh yeah,
Sam
Sam Dietz.
Dietz back on.
Yeah, we gotta have him back on. And then the other one that really hit me in the feels was Mitchell's versus the Machines. Because
great.
That was that shit hit me. My daughter was like, Dad, I really need to watch this with you. And she had already seen it like 15, 11 times or something.
Before the podcast, we were watching
this. Yeah, and she has terrible taste usually. And I was like, I don't really want to fucking watch this. And I sat down, she was like, oh, it's for the Spider-Verse people. And I was like, okay, we'll see. And then I just was blown away. So we'll definitely talk about it later. But I'm looking forward to fucking Memorial Day and fucking relaxing and just reconnecting. My daughter's birthday is on fucking Friday, and just spending some time with family, man. That's all I got. Old Ninja, take us out.
Really quickly, if you are still playing No Man's Sky and you're still with it, because they've done a lot of improvements, they're doing an event. You have 2 days to finish from the time of this podcast to get the SSV Normandy added to your fleet. So it's an event that ends this Friday. It'll be May 28th. Do the event. It should take you 5 hours, maybe 5.5, to beat it, and then you'll get the Normandy before the new season starts. But I digress. You just witnessed the dankest podcast on the internet. We are Black and Black Times Infinity. Check us out anywhere and everywhere on the internet with Beathan BTI. That's BTHAN BTI on Twitter, on anywhere you listen to podcasts. Check out our official website, benheadproductions.com/BeathanBTI. We're also on Twitch. Look for us at BeathanBTI. And then you can email us at beathanbti@gmail.com because we have a Discord. You want to get in on that and email us to get an invite onto the Discord.
Man.
Dope shit.
No more live action footage for you, Prodigy. Get you in trouble.
Friday's coming.
You'll be blind, man.
You just gonna get your other eye messed up.
Friday came on your eyeball.
Ah! He's glutton for punishment.